If you feel constantly anxious, just exhausted and totally overwhelmed, you've probably blamed yourself, right? Or your habits or just, modern life. But what if that feeling isn't a personal failing? What if it's actually a biological state? What if your body is simply stuck in survival mode? Today, we're going to dive into the real physiological reason you feel this way, and more importantly, how you can start to find your way back to calm.
Just let that sink in for a second. This isn't just about a busy schedule or a demanding job. We're talking about a fundamental shift inside of you, where your internal alarm system gets jammed in the on position and your body forgets how to get back to a state of genuine rest. And you know what? That feeling has a name. It's called nervous system dysregulation. It's the biological reality behind so much of what we just label as burnout or chronic anxiety or fatigue. And really understanding what it is, that's the first, most crucial step toward truly healing. So here's the most important thing to get. It's a physiological state. Your body is physically trapped in a survival response. This isn't a character flaw, and it's definitely not a lack of willpower. It's your biology, doing its best to protect you from a threat that it thinks is constant and never-ending.
Okay, so here's a super simple way to think about how it works. Your nervous system has two main parts. You've got the sympathetic system. Think of that as your body's gas pedal. It's all about survival. Then you have the parasympathetic system. That's your brake. It's for rest and recovery. Now, a healthy regulated system moves flexibly between the two. The problem, the dysregulation, is when your foot gets permanently stuck on the gas, and that leads directly to burnout and anxiety.
So how does this actually show up in your life? As we go through these next few signs, just listen closely. See if any of this starts to feel uncomfortably familiar.
The first and maybe the most pervasive sign is this really deep sense of mental weight. It's not just feeling busy, it's a constant grinding exhaustion. It's a level of internal noise that just never seems to turn off.
Does this sound like you? You open your email and just feel this wave of paralysis. You spend like 20 minutes staring at a simple task you know you used to do in 2 minutes. You walk into a room and completely forget why you went in there. That's not just brain fog, it's a symptom of a system that is at its absolute limit.
And here's what's actually going on in your body. Your overactivated fight or flight system, it literally suppresses the part of your brain responsible for planning and focus, your prefrontal cortex. At the same time, all that chronic stress messes with your hippocampus, which is crucial for your memory. So you see, you're not losing your mind. Your brain is physically shifting its resources away from clear thinking and toward pure survival.
Okay, now for one of the most confusing and, well, frankly, frustrating signs of them all, the energy paradox. You might know it better as the tired but wired phenomenon.
This experience is just maddening, isn't it? You drag yourself through the entire day, bone-tired, just fantasizing about sleep. But the moment your head hits the pillow, your brain kicks into overdrive, replaying conversations, making endless to-do lists, just worrying. Or maybe you jolt awake at 3 a.m., heart pounding, and that's it. Sleep is over. Rest doesn't bring any relief. It just seems to highlight the chaos inside. So what's the science behind this? Well, after months or even years of being in survival mode, your stress hormone reserves are totally depleted, which leads to that profound daytime fatigue. But at night, your dysregulated system starts releasing these random spikes of cortisol and adrenaline, your body's main stimulants. This completely throws off your natural sleep cycle. It's like your body has literally forgotten how to use the brake pedal and shift into that deep, restorative sleep.
This constant state of high alert, it doesn't just exhaust your mind and mess with your sleep. It deeply impacts your emotions and your physical body. And it often ends up straining your relationships and leaving you in this state of just chronic discomfort.
This is where you might notice you have a dangerously short fuse. Little things, small frustrations, suddenly trigger these big reactions. A sudden wave of irritability, bursting into tears, or snapping at the people you love the most, which is then followed by this huge wave of guilt. And physically, it's that relentless tension in your shoulders, a tight jaw from clenching at night, or headaches that just never seem to go away.
And biologically, this makes perfect sense. Your amygdala, that's your brain's little threat detector, it becomes hypersensitive. It starts seeing danger everywhere, even in harmless situations. Your muscles stay physically tensed up, braced for a fight that never actually comes. And because of that powerful gut-brain connection, your whole digestive system slows way down, leading to bloating, discomfort, all of it. It is all connected.
So, okay, we've seen the signs. The mental exhaustion, that sleep paradox, the emotional and physical toll. But the most important question here is why? Why does the system get stuck like this in the first place?
because understanding this is the key to finally being able to help it get unstuck.
I want to just pause here, because this is probably the single most important idea in this whole explainer. If you've been trying to think your way out of anxiety or hack your way out of burnout with positive affirmations and it hasn't worked, it's not your fault. You can't fix a physiological problem with mindset alone. It's like trying to cure a fever with positive thinking. The problem isn't in your thoughts, it's deep in your body.
To put it really simply, prolonged chronic stress literally rewires your body's baseline. Your brain and body pretty much recalibrate, and they make being on high alert the new normal. Your fight or flight switch gets rusted in the on position, and over time, your body loses its flexibility. It loses the neurological ability to downshift and access that deep state of calm. It's a skill that has just gotten weak from disuse. But here is the really hopeful part. This is not a permanent state. Just like your nervous system learned how to be dysregulated, it can be retrained. It can be restored. It can relearn how to feel safe. So let's look at a few simple, really powerful ways to begin that process, not through your mind, but through your body.
Now, this is not another demanding to-do list, okay? Think of these as simple, powerful ways to send direct signals of safety to your body. First, slow your breathing. Making your exhale longer than your inhale, even just by a little bit, that directly stimulates something called your vagus nerve. This nerve is basically the main highway for your rest and digest system. And a long exhale physically tells your brain, hey, you're safe enough to relax. Second, gentle movement. When you're burnt out, intense exercise can actually feel like another threat to your body. So instead, try walking, gentle stretching, or slow yoga. The goal here isn't fitness, it's just about releasing tension and grounding yourself. Third, get outside. Spending even 20 minutes in nature without your phone is scientifically proven to lower your stress hormones. And finally, reduce stimulation. In a world of constant pings and notifications, your nervous system never gets a break. Intentionally creating pockets of quiet, especially turning off screens an hour before bed, gives your system the space it desperately needs to finally power down.
And as you start to do these things, you might start to realize just how long your system has been stuck. You know, these first steps are absolutely essential. They are the foundation. But if that foundation has been shaky for months or even years, a true, lasting reset, it often requires more than just a few tips. It really requires a structured rebuild from the ground up.
For those of you who hear that and you're ready for a more guided, systematic path, we actually created a program called the Calm Rebuild. It's designed specifically to help you methodically retrain your nervous system, restore your energy, and reclaim your sense of focus for good. If that sounds like the kind of support you need right now, the link is right there in the description below.
Before we finish, just take a quiet moment to reflect. Of all the signs we talked about, the mental load, the energy paradox, the emotional and physical toll, which ones are hitting home for you most intensely right now? Let us know in the comments. I think when you read through them, you'll realize just how many people feel the exact same way you do. You are not alone in this.
And finally, I want to leave you with this one core truth. Please really hear this. You are not broken. You are not weak. Your system is simply overwhelmed. And the most important thing to remember is that it can be retrained, it can be restored, and it absolutely can be rebuilt.